Yeah, look, absolutely. Overnight, we conducted hundreds of checks, particularly of those who were close contacts or who have the virus. Thankfully, everyone was home as they were supposed to be on health advice. We'll continue to do that. We know home-to-home transmission is a huge issue for us. We know that people are bringing it home from work sites that aren't complying with health orders. So if you think about the powers that I've asked for, it will take it to those businesses that are breaching the health orders, and it will take it back to the homes that are continuing to breach the health orders that are putting us into an extended lockdown.
For breaking news, turn to Peter Overton.
Fuck you, Peter Overton.
Jesus Christ.
Yep.
Yeah,
Scroll back to the top.
did you see that, though? Did you see that? Like, fucking, the actual thing there, 239 cases. It's not deaths, cases. Right?
Yeah.
Out of 110,000 tests. That's a percentage of 0.002.
Yeah, well.
And we're going down to, like, I mean, this article's from a while back, but it demonstrates just how fucking retarded everything has gotten.
Yep.
Like, they're deploying the army to keep people in their houses. What is this, fucking Tiananmen Square?
Yep. I mean, it's so for anyone not in the know, Australia has just gotten more and more draconian with their lockdowns. Their lockdown measures are, and it's getting ridiculous. As you could see, this was from a few weeks ago, about a month ago now.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The dystopian Commonwealth, of course, this is not the Bee, it's Babylon Bee's actual news section. So of course it's still there's a flare of the dramatic here, but the dystopian Commonwealth of Australia is sending police to knock on people's doors to make sure they have no visitors, and deploying the army to patrol the streets. My God.
By the way, you can skirt that if I'm just saying, not saying that anyone's done this, to the federal agent listening in on this.
Yes.
You can skirt that by having a permitted work permit, or an essential worker permit, and pretend that you're like, I mean, of course, if it's like if you're in an industry that would necessitate that, but it'll be like, oh yeah, you can go to someone's house, and if someone knocks on the door, like a cop knocks on the door, and then you present that permit, and you're like, oh, okay, here. They pretty much just let you go. So essentially, those people who know how to skirt the rules, as with anything, will skirt them. And more rules just means that there's a bigger book to throw at someone that the authorities don't like, essentially. And it is actually retarded.
I mean, and all this shit over practically nothing. I mean, these numbers. Look at this again. These numbers are whatever to the date of this article, whatever. But look at this. Look at this. Mm-hmm. Only 923 people died total across all of Australia since the beginning of pandemic due to COVID.
Yep, and the vast majority have been in the 80+ years metric. Yeah, exactly.
Oh,
look at that graph.
I know. Look at
that graph. Bruh. And like, even you even really only start to notice it when it gets to like the late 50s.
Yeah. And then here's the concentric circle diagram to show you. Here's everyone that's died of COVID. Here's every single COVID case. Here's everyone else.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they're ruining everybody's lives over.
And it's not just that. You know what's funny? Like, we've talked about this before, but you know how like, until I think in the last month or so, right? There were no COVID deaths in Australia for 2021, like until the end of July, right?
Yeah.
But before that, there were, I think, 2 or 3 vaccine-related deaths in Australia.
Oh.
So up until July, the vaccine had a higher death toll than the disease it's supposed to prevent.
My God.
Yeah, it was. I'm like, but at the moment, I think they're about on par. Like, I think there's about 2 or 3 deaths from Corona, and I think there's about 4 or 5 from the vaccine. So, fun times. We're actually getting fucking locked down. Like, a friend of mine recently commented on how fucking long my hair has gotten again, and I'm like, yeah, tell that to the Australian government because we're still in lockdown. And I can't even get a haircut because my name's not Nancy Pelosi, and I can't be caught on camera going for flaunting my own lockdown rules and getting away with it.
Yeah,
with
because
no consequences.
yeah, rules for thee and not for me. That's how it always is.
100%, brother. But oh Jesus.
And I mean,
Yep.
it gets even worse because like now they're telling people that they can't even like hang outside of their homes.
Yep. If you're in quarantine, you're not allowed to go outside the 4 walls of your house. You can't even go into your backyard.
I
What?
mean, this shit is ridiculous. Listen to this, for fuck's sake, people.
Last night who thought the best thing to do was to go and watch the sunset. I'm sure it was a beautiful sunset. But that's not in the spirit or in the letter of these rules. And there's a whole bunch of people down the Ryback Beach last night.
Yeah, a whole bunch of people decided to go out and watch the sunset, and that's bad. It's really bad. How dare you?
Okay. Okay.
Australia's own health authority has admitted that not a single case of COVID transmission has been recorded outside of casual interactions, nor has it been observed anywhere in the world, according to the New York Times. So, like, if you're outside in the sunlight, just chilling out with people, and you're not sucking face, you're probably not going to get COVID.
Well, these people don't actually even I think the worst part about all of this is the fact that these people know, based on we saw the leaked emails from Fauci and from fucking the WHO and shit, that they knew that masks aren't fucking effective, and by their own behavior, we know that they don't believe that masks are effective because as you can see in the side there, Rashida Tlaib busted partying maskers with tons of people. It's not just her. There's plenty of others.
Oh, yeah.
AOC. Then there's the chief health officer for Victoria. The same state that I'm in, and that guy that you just saw rambling like a fucking moron.
Yeah.
He's the premier of our state. The chief health officer of Victoria went to Canberra to have a fucking high class dinner with other bureaucrats in the middle of lockdown. Not this most recent lockdown, in the previous one.
Yeah.
So, maskless. They don't believe the rules that they're fucking pushing.
No, of course not.
That is the most infuriating fact of this. It's like they go on TV and fucking talk this shit, and then you have all these fucking sheep listening to them. You don't hear me use the word sheep because I think it's cringe and it's overused.
I agree.
But I really just don't know how else to describe this when you've got the exact same people sitting there fucking pontificating over bullshit that they don't even believe. And then you've got all these other fucking cunts just going there, oh yeah, nah, trust the science. Like, fuck off, you fucking pampered cunt. Fucking the next time some cunt tells me trust the fucking science, I'm gonna fucking knock their teeth out. I swear to God.
It's a mantra. It's a mantra that they repeat to try to calm themselves, or they're doing that.
It's a fucking prayer at this point. It's a goddamn religion, man.
It is. COVID is the devil. Fauci is
Rona
Jesus.
is the devil. Fauci is Jesus. The government is God.
Yep.
Trust the science is the fucking new Our Father.
Mm-hmm. So, in this analogy, what's the Holy Spirit?
It's the Holy Spirit. It's the vaccine. It's salvation to everyone.
There you go. Wow, this is fucking... we stumbled onto something here, didn't we?
This is actually fucking retarded. Oh, God. They did try this with climate change. before Rona, but it just wouldn't hit because people, like driving.
Yeah.
But you attack their health, and all of a sudden everyone's fucking
And
like,
it comes back to what I always thought: way more people are germophobic than they ever wanted to admit.
Yep. Nah, I completely agree with that, man. Like they envy the Asian quote unquote system of people just walking around in masks.
Yeah,
And
because
it's like
Delta derangement syndrome has hit my area pretty hard. Masks are coming back out, not as a mandate from the government. Just people are wearing masks a lot more again, and
they're just voluntary, and
Yeah.
it's actually sad.
it's like,
here-
you've been conditioned.
So you remember when I told you a while back that like I've never worn a mask in public,
Yeah,
and no one's bothered me for it?
yeah.
Well, unfortunately, now I've had to.
Why?
Well, people have actually confronted me on it and have actually called the cops on me for it.
Well, goddamn.
Yeah. And I'm like, okay, fine. If it's so fucking precious to you, I'll wear it. And then the cops are like, as I said to people, like, I don't know what the problem is with most people in, their fucking police encounters, but every cop encounter I've had has been, pretty okay.
Yeah.
And the cops were like, look, dude, like, I personally don't like it either. Well, the cops I encountered, right? Because I've seen scenes of people getting fucking absolutely destroyed by the cops over stupid bullshit rules, right?
Yeah.
But the cops I've encountered were like, oh, look, dude, I don't agree with it either, but if people are going to keep a fuss over it, then, we'll have no choice but to do something. And I'm like, okay, well, I'm going to put the mask on. I'm going to go outside, go back outside, put the mask on. And you reckon you'll do anything if, like, I just had it around my mouth or something? I'll just say, like, because it really is, like, really stuffy. I can't fucking breathe properly. Like, it might just be like a placebo thing, like, just because I have a thing over my face, but they're like, no, just, if you feel that way, just, put it down below your chin or over your mouth or something, just so enough that people don't fucking complain. Because so people really they just want to see the mask on you.
Yeah, they want
They
to
don't
know
even really
that
care.
You're complying.
Yep, that's it. They don't even really care how you wear it or whether you wear it properly. Because otherwise, every cunt would call fucking the cops on every Muslim that I've seen walking around.
Yeah.
But no, like, they just want to see the mask on you somewhere so that you've been subdued by their fucking religion, right?
Yep, that you're wearing the
The necklace or the
Yeah.
cross or the hijab or whatever.
Yeah, this is the mask is the rosary.
Mm-hmm.
It's the religious icon that you carry with you everywhere you go. Signify
Yep, and
your
that
devotion.
your submission.
Yeah.
Oh, yep, your devotion. Yeah, that works too. It's so fucked.
Yep. And I mean, like, the shit in Australia that we're seeing is just, it gets worse. It gets worse and worse and worse. We just keep scrolling down.
It gets worse.
Fucking not the bee. These guys are great. It's ridiculous how much legitimate news I get from joke websites, as you'll eventually see later on. In addition, less than 100 Aussies have died of the Rona since October of last year. For this pandemic, quote unquote, they are being locked down like animals in cages. Meanwhile, and this one really gets my eagle blood boiling, one Aussie freedom lover was just handed 8 months in prison for organizing an unauthorized protest.
What do you mean? What do you mean? I mean, to be fair, that's actually legally correct. Have you ever read the Australian Constitution?
No, but no.
Well, let me tell you, there are 6 rights enshrined in the Australian Constitution, and none of them are rights.
Of course not. Of course not.
The only one that you can actually consider a right is the freedom to practice religion, but then it's like, that doesn't go against the laws. And I'm like, okay, I actually agree with that, but that's not right. Every right in Australia is basically just, can be revoked by an act of parliament. There's no such thing as rights down here. There is one thing in the Australian Constitution that does give me some glimmer of hope, though.
What's that?
It's that the governments are not allowed to interfere in interstate commerce.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you've told me about that before.
Manner. Yeah, and that's the only like legal standing I can see, like, where people can start to challenge, like, for example, vaccine mandates on.
Yeah.
But that being said, it's not like, where did all of these powers come from anyway? So it's not like I'm holding out hope that anyone's actually gonna be, principled enough to stand in those. Because if you do, I guess if you're like a legal professional or something, you can pretty much say goodbye to your career at that point.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there are some people in Australia who are willing to stand on principle, because we've got, boom, over here, thank you to the Daily Wire, hundreds arrested and fined in Australia amid nationwide protests against lockdowns. This is from August 21st, so it's very, very recent. Tell me about this. What's going on here?
Well, it's literally just people tired of the fucking lockdowns. The thing is, some of those people are going to be vaccinated. Because according to the numbers, half of the Australian population at least has had their first shot, and I think about a third, or anywhere between a third to 40%, are fully vaccinated.
Yeah.
Right? So they're just tired of the whole bullshit. Like, we've done everything. We've complied. We've fucking, we've gotten the jab. What the hell else are we waiting for?
They have every right to be upset, man. This is ridiculous.
Here's the black pill amongst these. Where's the prominent politicians standing up for this?
There aren't any in Australia.
Where are the media people? And where's the elite quote unquote class that's standing up for this? Nowhere. They don't exist. They do not exist. They're all in fucking cahoots over it.
I mean, it sounds about right. In Melbourne, 218 people were reportedly arrested, 236 were fined, and 3 were placed in custody for allegedly assaulting police. In Sydney, 47 people were charged with violating public health orders or resisting arrest, and police issued more than 260 fines. So it seems the Sydney police were not quite as hardcore as the Melbourne police. But still, like...
Oh, but it's the city police that's going down to people's doors and literally, checking whether they're violating stay-at-home orders.
Yeah.
To be fair, Melbourne police did that at one point. You know what they were doing?
No, I didn't hear about this.
In the beginning of the pandemic. Like, this is back in fucking, April, May last year.
Yeah.
They would look for cars outside people's houses.
For fuck's sake.
Yeah? They would look for cars outside people's houses, scan the registration plate, run the plates on who the owners are, and check the owner's postcode. And then they're going to knock on the door and ask, why is this car here? Where is this person?
Why are you here? Why aren't you locked down?
And guess what? You don't even need a warrant to go out of the way. We'll be searching the house. On time.
How is a country literally granted, founded by British convicts, but how is a country founded by, like...
Because
British people, based on British common law, not like...
Because... my brother.
Yes.
Because I don't know where I heard the saying before, right? But Australia is a country descended from convicts. But you got to remember, people that live here, the people who were born here, are also descended from those jailers.
Oh yeah.
It wasn't just the convicts that fucking came to Australia. They didn't just dump them here.
No, there were people to keep an eye on them.
in the middle of a desert island, of course, there would be a very, very, very interesting power dynamics there. So, before the before this whole like critical race theory retardation fucking hit, the academy or the mainstream, right? There was this TV drama that I watched. I don't remember the title anymore, but it chronicled like the life of a specific convict who went to Australia, right?
Yeah.
And unfortunately, she fell in love and got married to like another convict while they were on the journey.
Yeah.
But because of the nature of like life here, she basically whored herself out to the guards.
Mm.
And eventually gave birth to 5 different kids from 5 different fathers.
Huh.
The single mother experience, am I right?
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
But yeah, that's. I thought that was very concise, and while it might not have been realistic, it was, as the lefties like to put it, realistic adjacent.
Yeah.
It was real enough to be believable for a drama.
Yeah. It's not factually true, it's morally right.
Morally correct. Yeah, exactly. And it's like, okay, well, that drives the point home. Like, there is a very, very, very potent, shall we say, streak of just, I don't know, power tripping, authoritarianism, something in Australian politics. And it's just like, this is why I keep saying, Australia is not, there is no right wing in Australia. It's center left, further left, crazy left.
Ugh.
The fact that people insist that there's a right wing in Australia is fucking retarded, because even the quote unquote nationalists rest on the principles, if you want to call it principles, but on the institutions of welfare and universal healthcare. No one wants to give that up.
Yeah, they just don't want foreigners and to get a hold of it, I assume.
Yeah, it sounds like a certain someone, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A certain 2 people, actually. A certain 2 people that agreed on literally everything except on who should rule the world. I'm just saying. Yeah.
Well, stuff like these 2 videos here, 2 short little videos give me hope. So here is from the Melbourne protest of them just busting through the barricade like a bunch of fucking zombies.
Frustration at this current lockdown, and there you go. We had some protesters there trying to break through the police line. We've got mounted police also.
And look at old boy right here, just like, I got through. He's running away.
If you remember, similar pictures a month ago.
I know where this is. God damn. Like, I'm not a big fan of the CBD, but just seeing this shit, it's like.
It literally looks like zombies, man.
Our politicians.
Oh, she was hot.
Rita Panahi? Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, I'd smash. Look at that.
Dude, have you never heard of Rita? Dude, I thought you watched Sky News, man.
I've heard of Sky News. I don't watch it on the reg.
Nigga. Anyway.
But yeah, and then this one down here.
She's also an actual MILF, and she's Indian, so there's that.
Ooh, gnarly. This one down here, also from Melbourne. What is it about base Melbourne, apparently? But here we go.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I recognize these streets. I know where this is.
People marching down the street chanting freedom. I love it.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Brings a red, white, and blue tear to my eye. If y'all could just get into formation and start singing the American national anthem like the HKs did, like
nah. Australians are far. This is the thing. Australians are far too blue pilled in that regard.
Yeah.
Everything wrong with the world stems from America.
Yeah, I always got the feeling that Aussies don't like Americans too much.
Yeah, I don't know.
They love our fucking cars, though.
Well, just GM. A lot of people here like Fords.
No, I know.
If you like Ford, you're a douchebag.
Yeah, we've covered this.
Yes.
Ford is.
Yes, we have.
Ford is
there
America's
are
president.
like Ford fanboys, but
Yeah, I know.
it's a lot. I don't know. I question Ford's taste in interior design. It is like they were one of the earliest people to have that that ICC that they did, the Interior Command Center or whatever they want to call it, like some fucking cringe ass shit.
Yeah.
And it was one of those hyper integrated fucking systems.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
And it's just like, fuck off. Seriously. These, like, Ford is for me, the epitome of things will never improve. Things will always be this way. Because they're literally not allowing you to change the fucking the head unit of your car. Anyway. Whatever. It's another thing for another time. Going back to Australia, yeah, it's all other sorts of shit. Just
More from the Daily Wire. Since last Saturday, residents of Sydney and its state of New South Wales have faced a potential fine of $5,000 for violating the extended stay-at-home orders, according to Reuters.
Hey. Well, that same fine has been enforced in Victoria since last year. It's just that Sydney is coming down hard and fast. Victoria has had the same issues for a year and a half. And the thing is, you know what the real black pill on this is? Like, when I told you, these same people would stand there and grandstand and then people would just swallow it.
Yeah.
The amount of people I know who are lambasting Gladys Berejiklian, who's the Premier of New South Wales,
Yeah.
for not locking down quick enough.
Of course not.
It's like, oh, she should take pointers from Dan Andrews. And I'm like, dude, I don't like what she's doing now, but the fact that she kept New South Wales open for that long, like, fuck, man. It wasn't until recently that all of this fucking corona shit happened, and it's because of the fact that fucking, we're still accepting businessmen, quote unquote, from fucking Arabia and India, that this even fucking started going. It's all fucking immigrants that they're giving special, exceptions for to get into the country. Like the lockdown that the lockdown in like mid-May, early June, we had to go through, that I personally had to quarantine for because I was exposed to the virus, and by law I needed to quarantine.
Yep.
The guy from which that originated from fucking was an immigrant from India. He fucking arrived in New South Wales, took another flight down to Melbourne, and he got quarantined over there, turned up negative, right? Came to Melbourne, quarantined again, turned up negative, and then all of a sudden he started developing symptoms.
Weird.
While he was in Melbourne. It's like, the guy was in quarantine for a total of a month. How the fuck did they miss that?
Because the tests are bullshit?
Or maybe, just maybe, I don't know. This might just be like the fucking cold or the flu. You might be carrying it in you, and it has varying incubation times, and no one knows what the fuck is going on. Just saying.
Yep, that sounds about right.
Anyway,
and like the protests, protests in these things, people in Australia are starting to, at least some people in Australia are starting to finally have enough, and it's because they're seeing stories like this. Like, this vaccinated Aussie woman denied request to visit cancer-stricken daughter. This woman's daughter's dying of fucking breast cancer. This old lady has got the vaccine, but she's not allowed to go see her daughter who's dying of breast cancer. This is horseshit. Horseshit, I say. A fully vaccinated Australian mother living in Sydney has been denied permission to visit her daughter, who's battling advanced breast cancer, while raising 2 small children in Melbourne with her husband. This is like what? Who made this decision?
Did I send you that? Did I send you that link where some fucking local council in New South Wales shot rescue dogs so that the volunteers didn't have a reason to get out of their house?
Yeah. You sent me that, but I didn't put it in the show prep. But yeah, no, I've been.
But yeah, like
honestly, I heard
it adds to the point.
I've heard about that story has gone far more viral in the United States than anything like this, or than the protests or anything. Is the fact that like the Australians are shooting fucking shelter dogs,
Rescue dogs. Yeah.
Yeah. It's disgusting.
What the fuck?
What the fuck is wrong with the guys who do this? Like, hey, go in there and shoot these rescue dogs.
The funniest thing about that article is that, SMH, the Sydney Morning Herald, and I'm guaranteed they thought they knew that, right?
Yeah.
the Sydney Morning Herald is a lefty fucking outlet, right? And the thing is, with the way they're reporting it, like the fact that they reported it means that it's real bad, right? And the way that they reported it,
Yeah, I'm listening.
the way that see you can't even find it.
Yeah, they've memory hold it. Goddamn.
Yeah, so you need to actually have the link for it in order to thing.
And this is this is DuckDuckGo. This isn't even Google.
Yep. The memory that hold it so fucking hard. But like the way they reported it was like, oh, it's it's somehow the fault of the state and federal government, right? Because of course they need to blame the quote unquote right wing party for it. I put it in the channel, brother.
Okay, I found it. Well, I found something. I found from TMZ of all fucking places. What is happening to the world? TMZ is reporting on this shit.
Mm-hmm. But like, yeah, so the way they reported it, right, is that the state and national government have something to do with it.
Yeah.
When it's like it was a wholly within the council position thing. Only within it was a decision made just within the council. And then I looked at the makeup of the council and it said, oh, they're all what is it? Unaligned or independent, which means they're basically just crypto commies.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's like, oh, okay, so they have to find a way to blame the quote-unquote right-wing party. Somehow. Of course they do.